Started. I'll just introduce myself then. So I'm Sue Reid. I am a confidence coach, and my publication is Confidence Matters. Hi, Flora, and hi, Karina. Yeah, so my publication is Confidence Matters. What I've been doing this year is having a theme every month. And so we've looked at all sorts of things like living with intention, self, what's the it's just gone right out my self-compassion. Yes, self-compassion went right out my head then. Confident communication, boundaries. And then last month was negative self-talk. So June is going to be self-trust. But I just thought today we talk about negative self-talk because a lot of people have said how much they've learned from it and how much it's affected them, and that they're working on it, and this seems to be something that a lot of people struggle with. Do you find that, Betsy? Oh, first of all, introduce yourself, Betsy, and then answer my questions. Do you find that?
Hi, Sue. Thanks for inviting me to join you. I am Betsy Siebold. I am the mindset. I have to come up with a catchier name because I trip over it. I'm a midlife mentor, midlife mindset mentor.
That's the one.
And my publication is Mid Mindset Matters. I am having a moment. And so, yes, I find that negative self-talk is always there, ready and waiting to jump in. And I'm learning every day to remember to separate myself from my thoughts because I always love the expression, you don't have to believe everything you think.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because it might be your thought, but it's not your voice. It's not actually you thinking it. It's your mind bringing it up. And yeah, so we'll talk through that. But to go right back to the start, when we're growing up, we pick up messages from the people around us. So, when we're very young, our brain is still learning about the world and how we fit into it. And one of the things it wants to know is, how am I going to survive? Because that's the most important thing. So, you are a young child, and your brain is thinking, how will I survive? And will this hurt me? And it doesn't really think about, will this make me happy? It's not bothered whether you're happy or not. It just wants you to survive, because this is ancestral. This came from when we were living in caves, and every time we went out, we were in danger of being killed. And there's still that part of your brain at the back that is still thinking that, will I survive this? And it can be a little bit of a drama queen. And this is where the inner voice can be quite harsh. Um, so I wanted to talk about a bit about that. But if anybody can think of any messages they got, hi Bob. Bob's obviously finished his own live that I was just watching. But can anybody think of any messages they picked up when they were young? So for me, it was things like, I remember my mum saying things like, "While you live in our house, you'll do what we say." She taught me to obey the rules, not step out of line. Children should be, it's really Victorian, but my mum used to say, children should be seen and not heard, which taught me to be quiet. Things like, I don't know, while you live in my house, you do what we say. Um, don't talk back. All of these things were teaching me that if you wanted to be loved, if you want to be protected by your caregivers so that you do survive, which was what your brain wants, then you have to obey the rules, and you have to. So it's conditioned love. So what are your thoughts about that, Betsy?
Well, the things that I tended to kind of take internally were that, if my brothers were acting up, I needed to be quiet.
Mhm.
I needed to help my parents as much as I could because I knew that they were carrying, a heavy burden. They had eventually 4 children.
Right.
So I was the helper. I was the people pleaser. And not that those are bad things, but, in some ways they kind of turned me into being small and
Mm.
quiet. And they weren't self-affirming, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lisa said my grandmother would say things like, "You would be so pretty." It's lovely. If you would be so pretty, if you lost 20 pounds. Like my worth was tied to how I look. Oh, yeah. I get that. I get that. When I was a teenager, I had teenage spots. And my dad would say to me, "Do you need some expensive face cream?" Like the last thing a teenage girl wants to know wants is her father to point out that she's got spots, which he can see when she looks in the mirror. But do you need some expensive treatment, like something was seriously wrong with me? He also told me at once that, and he meant it well, I think, but he said to my mum, why isn't she wearing a bra? Shouldn't she wear a bra at this age? And I'm like, oh my God, shut up.
Yes, we hearing those messages as a teenager, my hair was too long, it was too short, I didn't walk right, I didn't talk right, I heard all of that.
Oh, the walking, right? My
Walking,
mum was
yeah,
very keen on having a good posture.
yeah.
She used to make my sister and I walk around the house with books on our head to improve our posture. And if I would walk up the road with my arms folded, she would say I looked like I was going to do somebody's washing, which I think actually meant you look common. All these little
Well,
things.
and that's actually I think sometimes when you see people with their arms closed, that's like a lack of confidence, they're, like,
Mm,
holding themselves in. Whereas when you walk tall and open and, that's a much more confident stance. So I think she was probably trying to help you, but I know it hurt in the time.
yeah. And yeah, I'd laugh about it now. And I think what she really was, she said you need to be young ladies, and this is how young ladies behave.
Mhm, mhm.
They don't fold their arms. They don't look like they're going to do someone's washing or answer back or anything like that. They're very quiet and very polite, and they walk properly.
You're just waking up so many things that I heard as a and the teenage years were like the hardest ones, and that's what kind of goes into the college years and the young adult years, and it begins to build on each other, on
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. Because although when you're a teenager, you think you're grown up, your brain hasn't really developed until you're about 23, 25. So it takes a long, long time for it to stop taking all these things in. And then when you reach adulthood, it's actually too late in some circumstances because you find later on in life that the things that are affecting you, that are holding you back, when you start looking into them, when you like work on yourself, or particularly when you work with coaches or therapists, you find that there are threads there that link back to things you heard in childhood. I've said this loads of times, but I was always compared to my sister, who was prettier than me, cleverer than me, like knew what to say more than I did because I never said anything. Um, and so I grew up, my main beliefs were that I'm not clever and I'm not interesting. So, like, why would anybody bother about me? And that's how I grew up.
Yes, I think comparing yourself is just it can, I don't know, really knock down your confidence. I was always comparing myself to my friends. I had, friends who went to Ivy League universities and who then became
Mm,
successful in their careers and they worked in New York, and I'm like, "Oh, I wish I could be more like her." But I didn't do anything about it, but I would keep ratcheting myself down by
mm,
thinking I'll never reach that level. I'm just not as smart. I'm not as pretty. I don't have the connections, any of that.
mm. Yeah. And then because we've got these beliefs built into us, when we do think, okay, I am going to do something. I'm going to do something to improve myself. I'm going to like change my job. I'm going to take up this hobby. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to start a business. That's when you get your negative self-talk jumping in saying, what? No, no, you know you're not clever enough. You know you're not good at that sort of thing. You know you can't put yourself out there. You'll just get hurt. And it tries then to talk you out of it.
It's a big cycle. It's an absolutely big cycle, and that's what I'm going through even now.
Mm.
I was a secretary for years. I just wanted to sit behind my desk and help other people and, just kind of take the back seat. Whereas now I am saying, okay, call me. I will help you. I have tools for you. But that little voice in my head keeps saying, "But do you really?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll find out you haven't really.
Yes, yes, I'm an imposter. There's no way this can
Exactly.
possibly happen.
Yeah. So, oh, mix and tell. I always say a mix and tell now. So tell me if I'm saying that wrong. It was a learned behavior. Oops, where are we gone? Sorry, hold on, Karina, I'll come to you. It was a learned behavior way before you. I bet someone taught them the same. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Our parents can only teach us what they believe themselves. They don't know any
Mm.
different. And my parents, you're probably too, Betsy, were brought up in the war years. So, they had very controlled lives, probably very scary lives as well, although they didn't talk about it very much. But they were growing up in when there was a world war going on. So
Yes, I mean, my parents, I think, had parents who had grown up during the Depression.
right, yeah,
So I think there were definitely times of scarcity. Um, Even though it seemed like sometimes life was always good, I think there were every once in a while this whole scarcity mindset would come up.
mm,
We'd feel trapped by thinking, "Oh, it's the 70s, we have to turn down the heat," or
yeah,
and we just have to, ratchet things back, and that it
yeah.
it goes deeper eventually.
Did they stockpile tins of stuff?
No,
Tin
no.
food, tin food.
My
My
brother
parents did, and I do it.
Yes, my brother is what he calls himself a prepper.
Yeah.
And so he has all this stuff. He's done all this research. I am not that way. I will do that before a storm.
Mm,
If I think that a snowstorm is coming and we might get stuck in the house, but it's all very short term. I
mm.
don't Yeah, no, I don't know how that translates today.
Well, my mum used to keep a lot of tins, like tins of beans, tins of tomatoes, tins of soup, because she said you never know when war's going to break out again.
Wow.
Um, and so I kind of do it as well. And I don't think a war's going to break out, but I just think, well, with prices going up, why not keep your cupboard stocked? So and I think I just feel more comfortable. And that again is a message that's come from the past. Yeah, I feel comfortable when I can see a lot of tins in my cupboard. And when they start going down, I feel that panic. I mean, I'm not going, oh my God, there's no tins. But something inside me is saying, "Go to the shop, Sue. You need to go to the shop."
Right. There's
War
always
might break out.
I mean, I always feel better when the
Yeah,
larder is full or,
exactly, exactly.
you just know that there's enough,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. It's really interesting when you actually tie up the threads. Okay, so Katrina said, "Now I remember my mother telling me I should walk as if I had a beautiful diamond on my chest." Okay, I was not keen on that, but now I see what she meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, because if you've got a beautiful diamond on your chest, so presumably um it's something valuable. So it means that you're worth something. So yeah, I get that. That's really interesting. Thank you, Katrina. Nesting, nesting, yeah. Yeah, packing your shelves. Yeah,
Yes, carrying a
brilliant.
diamond on your chest is so much more elegant than what they said in a chorus line, T and A. stick
Yeah,
that chest out
yeah,
and
yeah.
sit that butt out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to work with a lady who used to say that. Lipstick on, TNA, get to work.
See?
Yeah.
That's a
Anyway,
great
it's a good expression.
that's a good one.
It's good. Okay, right. Katrina's laughing. Okay, right. So, yeah, so your brain thinks you're going to do something that might get you hurt. So it tries to protect you. And that really is where most of that negative self talk is coming in. So, it will say things like, well, you're not clever. You're not pretty enough. You need to lose weight, and you think this is really harsh. Why am I talking to myself in such a harsh way? But a lot of it is just your mind trying to keep you safe. So your nervous system say, hang on a minute, are we in danger? So it wants to know if you're going to be safe. Are you going to survive this? So I think one of the most common fears people have is walking on stage to give a talk. I give a presentation, and people just freeze up, and it's because you're as far as your brain is concerned, or as far as your nervous system is concerned, you are walking into a lion's den. Why would you want to do that? So it's going to start making you feel sick. It's also going to boost your adrenaline, though, because it's thinking if you must do this, okay, if you're going to do this, I shall make you ready for a fight. So that's why you start sweating in your palms. Your heart starts
Mm.
beating. You suddenly feel sick because you're getting ready to fight. Because your brain doesn't know you're just going to give a speech. And you think, oh my God, I'm getting so anxious. But actually, you're not. And this is what athletes understand. So top athletes, they're not full of confidence. They look confident rather, but they don't feel confident. They feel anxious because they don't, I mean, if they're going for the gold medal, if they're going for the gold medal, they don't know whether they're going to win or lose. And, they've trained for 4 years and they think, I could blow this. And that is a lot of pressure. So they get that adrenaline, they get the sweaty palms, they feel anxious, but they take that and they use it for what it was meant for, to go fast, to run or to jump or whatever it is they're going to do, swim, because their body's thinking, great, we're going to go and attack this then, but you're not, you're just going to run a race, but you're using it. And we could do that as well. We could take that feeling of anxiety and say, okay, fear, I've got this. Stay with me. I've got this, but we're going to do it anyway. And that's how confidence works, because confidence is on the other side of courage. And I've got a friend who was in the Marines, and he said something that I've always remembered. He said, you take the fear and you move it behind you. So it's got your back, or got your six, as they say.
Mm.
It's got your back, but you're in charge. And I think that's brilliant. So I've kept that mantra.
I like that very much. Well, and I like that, I've heard that we can take our nervousness, and and now that I'm kind of connecting the fact that all of those symptoms are the stress, response just
Hmm.
kicking in,
Hmm.
but we can take that nervousness and turn it into excitement. And that's probably what the athletes do is they
Yeah.
take that energy and they ball it up into something that they can use in their sport. And that's what we can do when we're on stage, maybe even on the live for all
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so
Um,
many people are frightened of going on lives. They think, "Oh
yes.
my God." But, when you think about it, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen? And that's another tip. If you always think of what the worst thing that could possibly happen might be, because it probably won't, you can also look at it from the other side and think, well, what's the best thing that could possibly happen?
Yes.
So going on a live, what's the best thing that could possibly happen? People will turn up, people will enjoy it, people will subscribe to you, people will tell you how good it was. Um, you know, Probably the best thing is Substack comes out and gives you some sort of reward for being the best live they've ever seen. That's not going to happen. But the worst scenario, well, it might do, but it probably won't. The worst case scenario, what could that be? I don't know. You'll say something stupid and people will laugh. Nobody will turn up. Your I mean, I've had people whose internet's crashed, their lights have
Mm.
gone out because they were in the middle of a storm. Somebody forgot to charge his phone up and his phone died in the middle. Um, I've had a time where my camera suddenly decided it didn't want to look at me anymore, so it started looking at the chair instead. I've had times where Substack went down and we didn't even go live, and it took us 10 minutes talking, waiting for the system to go live before we realized actually it's not gone live yet. We're still here.
Oh, wow.
So there's
Yeah,
all
I
sorts of things that
that's
could go wrong.
right. I mean, that's what we can do when if we start to go into that negative spiral, you turn it from what's the worst thing that could happen into what is the best. And then you just immerse yourself. Once you immerse
Mm.
yourself into all of the great things that could happen and you start to like actually envision yourself with all the good things happening, your heart just it's like the Grinch, your heart just grows 3
Yeah.
times, and you just feel so much better about it.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like nothing bad is going to happen, so really you just need to jump in and get on with it. But also, if you're visualizing it beforehand of it all going well and you having a really good, great conversation, if you do that a few times, so on the day you're going to go live for the first time and you're feeling nervous, just close your eyes and see yourself talking on that live, and it's all going well, and people are sending you hearts, people are interacting, you're seeing the numbers go up at the top, and you're thinking, yeah, this is going great. And if you visualize that a few times, then your brain will think, oh, well, we've done this before, we've done it a few times, because it doesn't know that you weren't actually doing it. It just thinks you were there because you were thinking about it. And so when you come to do it, your brain thinks, oh, we've already done this, it's fine.
There is such power in visualization.
Definitely.
It's a way to train your brain, as you said.
Yes.
And we can do that every day, every time we go and do something, we're about to go do something that's nerve-wracking. And then, you just build those neural pathways, I guess,
Yes.
so that you just feel more and more comfortable doing it.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll just read Omix and Tell's message. They trust the practice training, never confidence alone from athletes. No, that's absolutely right. They trust, and again, they trust that they've done it so many times, and they do use a lot of visualization in their training before they actually run the race or do the jump or whatever they're going to do. So there's an awful lot of visualization as well. Racing drivers as well. They visualize the track. They see themselves driving around the track before they drive it. So visualization comes into a lot of things now. So that is definitely something that people can practice. It definitely works. And it's also part of manifesting. So if you want to manifest your goals, imagine that you've already got them. Imagine you're already there. Just visualize yourself in that as that person in the future that's already got the goal, already living that life, already, got the dream house, whatever it is you want to achieve, just keep visualizing that. Write yourself a letter, congratulating yourself for it. Um, all of those types of things. It's like you say, it's all training the brain. It's like training a puppy. You've got to train it to do what you want it to do and to understand as well, because remembering it's still working from that ancestral part. There is the frontal cortex that wants to grow, that wants to learn, but it's fighting all the time. You've got this conflict going on with the back, and the back normally wins.
Well, it does. Like the stress response can take over. Um, And, the fact that we've gone from surviving into the wild to surviving in social situations, is the way that we tend to experience it now. And another way for me of not visualizing, but helping myself keep a positive mental attitude is to do affirmations.
Yes.
So, just by saying, I will have a good day, today will be a good day, it helps. It helps more than you ever think it would.
It does, yes. So, Moray's just said, love the pull the fear behind you. Yeah, I do. It's brilliant. Made a note of it, referring you. And we'll try and remember that. Yes, do. It is so valuable, I think. Okay. So next question is, do any of you in listening in the audience and also you, Betsy, do you have a name for your inner critic? So when that inner critic is having a go at you, do you call it anything?
I have not done that yet. I don't know about anybody else. I've heard people you can create a whole persona
Hmm.
around, whether it's a real person or whether it's the person that you've created, and I think that's brilliant. Um I just I just kind of plow through.
Yeah. So you may not need it.
I just try to just flip it. So if I
Yeah.
start thinking, "Oh shoot, I'm never going to, finish writing this book." Then I just say, "I will finish writing this book just by writing a little bit every day. Just keep writing over and over."
Yeah, and that's absolutely, right. It's right to do that. There's so many different ways of handling it, but one way that you can handle it, because what you want to do is separate yourself from that thought. So when you have your negative self-talk, like, "Well, no, you're not going to be able to do that. Why are you doing that? You know, you're no good at it." So Lisa calls hers Cruella now. Brilliant. Yeah, so having a name will mean you step away from it. So the voice, her, him. I haven't decided if that helps yet or not. Um, when you step away from it, then you're disassociating from it. So it's not you, it's not your thought anymore. It's a thought that your mind's made up. So I use Sniffy Smithy because that was a teacher that humiliated me, and that just works for me because I remember her face so clearly, and so I just say, "Oh, there's Sniffy Smithy again," and then that just quietens it down because it reminds me that it's not me that's doing it; it's just that thought. Um, I was going to say something else then, it's just gone out my head. So because that's what I was going to say. Yeah, because where these thoughts come from, they're not random. They appear to be just random thoughts that come up, but it's your brain, your nervous system trying to work out what's going on. And like I said, is this safe or am I going to get hurt? So it looks for, well, what do I know about the past? What's happened in the past that might mean that this is going to be dangerous? Okay, well, all right. Well, I remember when you were humiliated at school when you drew a picture. So now you're talking about taking an art class. What do you think you're doing? Then Sniffy Smith is going to be there, and she's going to humiliate you again. Why would you want to do that? They're all going to laugh at you. So it's it's just memories that are coming up from the past that form a pattern. So when this happens, your mind thinks this. So this has just happened. Oh, that means to your mind. So therefore, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get embarrassed. You're going to get rejected. You're going to die. Basically,
Of embarrassment for sure.
yeah, yeah. So the more you notice it, the less effect it has on you. When you just blindly listen to it and think, okay, well, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. It's not the right thing for me. Yeah, you know what? I'm not clever enough. I need more confidence. I need to read another book. I need to wait till next week for that. When you start doing that, so you're procrastinating, the perfectionism comes in. If I can't do it properly, I don't want to do it at all. If it's not perfect, what's the point of posting it? What's the point of making it? What's the point of writing the book when I don't know enough big words to write a book? All these things that go on. When you blindly listen to it and agree with it and let it control you, it's going back to that puppy analogy. You're letting the puppy run riot all over your house. So what you need to do is make it sit down and say, no, actually, I can do this and I always recommend all of my clients, the people in my paid tier, my inner circle, confidence circle. I always say, make a greatness list. Make a list of all the things you have achieved, all the things that have done well for you, so that when you're getting this, no, you're no good, you'll never do that, you can say, well, actually, look, I've done this, I've done that, that worked out for me. And then you can say, no, actually, that's fine, I can do this.
Yes, I've heard of the 100 wins exercise, which sounds very overwhelming to me, and I've never sat down to do it, or if I have, I've gotten up to 25 and just kind of given up. But just knowing even that you have 25 great things that have built you up, that have gotten you to where you are today is very good for your confidence, and it's very good for your mind to
Yeah.
see you can do it.
Yeah, you don't. They don't even have to be great things. There is a book. I can't think of his name now. It's I think he's an Indian guy, but the book is called 100 Wins in 100 Days or something like that.
Okay.
And so every day for 100 days, you write down something that you did well that day. And I did it for nearly a year actually. I might even have done it for a year, but I went well over the 100 days anyway. And that was my greatness list. So that's another way of writing the list. The other way is to go back over everything you've achieved in your life, like passing exams, passing your driving test, learning to ride a bike, all of the things you did, having a baby, getting married, um, everything. And you can write it all down and you end up with a huge list of things you've done.
I love doing that in the moment.
Yeah.
We could start, it's June 1st. We could start today.
Yes.
And there's such the great moment when we start the day, and it's the first and it's Monday. So we have that great fresh start effect.
Yeah, and we've got a full moon, so a great time for affirmations and asking for things that you want. So Moreau says, so actually, it is trying to help. So giving it a mild and compassionate name might help you say, "I see you and thank you," but that was now. Yeah, that was then. This is now. Yes, that's brilliant.
Hmm,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, okay, that happened in the past. We can forget that now. We're all right now. Everything's okay now. That's brilliant. Yes, remember that, definitely. And Karina says she loves the greatness list. Well, make one. It works. It definitely works. Because greatness can be overcoming. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All of these things definitely work. Um, so the first thing is to be aware. And Lisa at our last circle session was saying that if all you do is become aware of the negative self-talk, then really that's it. That's a really good first step. Just noticing it's there, saying, "Oh, that's the self-talk again. That's the self-talk," and you're just remembering that it's not true necessarily. Then you can start to make adjustments like, okay, so I've noticed it. I notice what it's saying to me, but is that really true?
Hmm.
And like Morel just said, it happened in the past. Okay, maybe I did something wrong in the past. Maybe I failed that exam. Maybe that guy rejected me and it really hurt. But that doesn't mean that this one will. And that doesn't mean that, I'm going to get this wrong. That doesn't mean if I start a new job, I will look stupid. It means that I'm starting a new job and I've got to learn it. And if I'm meeting somebody new, it means that I'm starting a new relationship and I don't know how it's going to go, but I trust myself to handle whatever comes up. When you start talking to yourself like that, the whole world changes, honestly.
Very much so. Yes, I think when it's our it's our choice to speak kindly to ourselves. I mean, think about it. If we spoke to our friends the way we spoke to ourselves, we wouldn't have any friends. So I try to be as encouraging and as kind and as loving to myself when I start to get down as I would be with my best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, because if your best friend knocked on your door and said, "Oh my God, Betsy, I'm having such a bad day. Everything's gone wrong. I got into trouble at work because I made a mistake. I got home only to find out that my husband's having an affair and he wants a divorce. I go, what would you say? You'd say, oh, come in, oh, poor you, have a chat. You wouldn't say, oh my God, I'm so busy, don't bother me now.
That's right. That's right.
You're always bothering me, go away.
Yep, I think being kind to ourselves is a beautiful gift, and it's important. Compassion
Absolutely.
and grace, there are so many great words out there, but compassion and grace, are 2 words that I try to give to myself especially, and I tell my clients that, even when you're working towards something and maybe you miss a day, well,
Yeah.
that's okay. You just
Yeah.
get right back on the horse and you go back and you start right back up again
Exactly.
because
Exactly. And
we're human.
yeah, and I love the way you changed the tone of your voice then. You brought it right down to very, very soft, and this is how we should talk to ourselves. Yeah, Karina says that's great, our own best friend. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, why not? I mean, you are the person that you are going to live with for the rest of your life. You're never going to get rid of yourself. So
That's
you really, really should be nice. Mireille says it helped me because my inner critic agrees up to a point with voices from the past. Yeah. So it helps to say it might have been true, but I am different now. Yeah. Though for me, it took losing loved ones and stepping up as a caretaker to see I can make a difference. Oh, bless you. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, Maria's had issues in the past. She's had health problems as well. So you're doing great. You're doing great. And that's really good actually to, to say to yourself, okay, that happened in the past. It's not happening now. I am a different person. I've learned so much. I'm so much stronger. And again, when you've got your greatness list, you can just say, look, I've done all these great things. I know that I can handle more. I know I'm strong. Um, the I am sentences are brilliant, like Betsy was saying, the affirmations. I am strong. I am able to do this. I can get through this. I am learning. Okay, I might have got something wrong, but I'm still learning. Just be kind to yourself. Again, if you imagine that little puppy, be nice to the puppy. If the puppy does something wrong, if it, pees on the floor, you're not going to smack it one, are you? You're going to be gentle with it and say, no, you should have done that. You should have done it out here. And you just train it like that. And that's how we're supposed to treat ourselves.
Well, that's so true, and it's even and similarly with babies, babies go and they first they learn how to crawl and then they learn how to walk, but sometimes they fall when they learn how to walk, and what do? They get right back up,
Yeah.
and that's what we need to do. We need to get right back up anytime we either start going, falling into that negative loop or, just start thinking we can't do it anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the thing with a baby learning to walk is nobody's told it that it can't do it. Nobody. His parents didn't say to him the first time he fell over, oh, well, you're never going to do this, are you? Give up now. It's clearly not for you. I'll get you a pushchair. Don't worry.
That's so
um,
true.
it just gets back up and it keeps going. And the parents are very encouraging. They say, oh, come on, you can do this. And then they start clapping when he takes his first step and he thinks, yeah, I'm great, I can do this. And then when, I don't know, 18 years later, he says, Mum, I'm going to go and move abroad because I've met this lovely girl and she lives in Paris. So I'm going to go to Paris and start a new life. And his mum says, oh my God, you can't do that. No, Paris is so dangerous and you can't speak French. And, I don't know this girl. She won't be right for you. She doesn't say, oh, yes, that's a really good idea. I can come and visit. I'll come on holiday. She tries to put him off. And this happens so often with all sorts of different things. So where the parent was encouraging when you were young, they turn it around where as soon as you decide to do something for yourself.
Well, and because that is probably the parent must perceive it as a form of a threat.
Protection again.
And
Yeah.
so they're,
Yeah.
we're probably always that survival instinct will always kick in no matter which situation we are. We
Mm.
have to have a stronger mind than our instincts let us believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay, so talking about beliefs then. So you've had this negative self talk. You've stopped listening to it. You've told it that that's not true anymore. So you're a different person now. So, what is the belief you want to have? So you can change that belief. So the analogy I use, you've probably, if you've been on some of my lives or read my posts, you'll have heard it before. But I use the analogy of a field. So imagine that a shortcut into town is to walk across a field. So there's a gate here and a gate exactly on the opposite side of the field. So everybody that's walking into town will take the shortcut and walk straight across that field. So they create a line which over time creates a path. So that's your neural pathway. That's the belief that's set in a a strong line in your brain. And it's very, very difficult to get rid of. So you can't erase it, but you can override it. So what you can do in the field is move both gates slightly to the left or slightly to the right by a couple of feet. And then people will automatically start walking down the new path. And gradually over time, that will get worn down. And the other one won't go away, but it will get overgrown again. So it's just the grass will come back. And so that's how you create a new pathway. So in your brain, you're just creating a new belief that you want to believe instead. So when your brain says, no, you're not clever enough, you can't do that, you say, well, actually, I think I could do this. If I learn this, if I start it and learn as I go along, I think I can do it. And that will, if over time, you create a new pathway. But you have to think, well, you don't have to, but the ideal is to think of a new belief that you can repeat when that negative self talk is coming. So you could have things like, I love who I am now. I'm okay. I love who I am now. I understand myself. I accept myself. Um, I believe in myself. I have great courage. I'm doing my best. I am learning. In this moment, I know I'm okay. So anything like that that you can say. The one I always used to use is everything's going to be okay. Yeah, I can do this. Everything's going to be okay. I used to do that all the time.
That's so true. And we can even, there are kind of different levels of negative, and you can go negative, neutral, and positive. So even if you're accustomed to always speaking negatively, just saying, I'm okay, I'm enough, is a step up. And then when you're ready, you can say, I am great,
Yeah.
or I am beautiful, or you don't want to use false positivity, but you can still work up slowly, so that you are still moving forward, and building that new mindset.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So anybody have any questions or anything else they want to add before we finish off? Oh, and I'll tell you what I want to add. Um, I have I've created a workbook on negative self-belief. And I think I've called it the Inner Voice Reset. I haven't put it on Gumroad yet. I need to do that. And I may or may not have time to put it on before I go on holiday. But I will put a note out when it's on there, if anybody wants it. Um, yeah, and everything that I've talked about there's exercises in there, reflections. There's a tracker, so you can like track your negative talk with it. There is um, a good, it's kind of a good words, bad words. That's not quite the right framing I used, but like good things to say, bad things to say. So like how you flip it. So when you heard one thing, you can change it to something else. I can't remember quite how I put that, but that's in there as well. So there's all sorts of very, very useful things in there. So all the things we've been talking about.
Well, that's wonderful, Sue. Yes, I in the spirit of our conversation, my newsletter will be around why we why we shouldn't believe our thoughts, something like that.
Yeah,
The
brilliant.
voices we hear are not what we think they are.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so that will be coming out tomorrow, and I have a live next week at this time with Sal Gallagher, the author.
Who is lovely. Really,
Yeah.
really lovely lady. Yeah. Yeah. I've got her book. I haven't started reading it yet, but I have got her
Oh,
book. Yeah.
yeah, I need to buy it.
Yes, Marae, there is a replay. It will be up shortly. So you can watch that. In respect of the workbook, if you've either watched the replay or been to this live and you want the workbook, let me know, because when it goes on Gumroad, it will have a price attached to it. All my paid subscribers get all the workbook's free anyway, but anybody that's listening to this who wants the workbook, message me and I will send it to you, or at least I'll give you a link to it anyway. Karina says, thank you so much, both of you, for this. I have to leave now. Yeah, I think we're finishing up now anyway, but I sincerely appreciate your wisdom. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Maria says, thank you both. This was unexpected. It popped up in my activity, but very insightful. Oh, you're welcome. Sorry, don't know why the last two words came, but again, thank you. Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you, Karina. All right, anybody else want to say anything before we finish up? Speak now or forever hold your words. It's been really good. Thank you so much for being here, Betsy. It's lovely to work with you again.
Thank you very much,
Um,
Sue. My pleasure.
yeah, so we'll do more in the future. Yeah, okay. Thank you, everybody. Mix and Tell, thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here. And Lisa, thank you both so much for an enlightening and enlivening discussion. Thank you. Thanks, Lisa. Brilliant. Marae, thank you both. Thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being so grateful. Oh, and that's the other thing I could mention, actually, that my gratitude movement, I've started a gratitude movement. So I'm just asking people just to put their gratitude notes on Substack, and just if you tag me in it, then I'll repost it for you the next day and mention you. My belief behind the gratitude is the more we express our gratitude, the more grateful we become, and the more we notice things to be grateful for. And I feel like there's something like really warm inside me when I think about gratitude. So worth doing.
Oh, and gratitude can really change your mindset. I
Yes,
I have a gratitude practice every morning and I dive into it, and sometimes it's as simple as coffee and sunshine, and sometimes it's more meaningful, and how my relationships are going well. So gratitude is it can really help take you out of a negative way of thinking, even depression.
definitely, because there's always going to be somebody who doesn't have what you've got. So no matter how bad you think your life is, there'll be some element of it that's better than somebody else's. And that's what you're grateful for. Grateful for catching this live when I really needed it. Oh, bless. It's funny how these things come along when you need them, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put that on my list tomorrow then, Marae. Thank you. Yeah, so brilliant. I've really enjoyed this. It's been lovely. So once again, I will say goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Cheers then.
Bye bye.